They told him he was too small, too weak, not built for this, and for years he believed them. But then something inside him changed, and that's when Steph Curry decided to prove the entire world wrong. This is the story of a kid who wasn't supposed to be here. A kid who got rejected by every major college. A kid who got picked 7th in the draft because teams thought he'd break. A kid who became the greatest shooter to ever touch a basketball. Not because he was born with a gift, but because he refused to let doubt win. This is about what happens when you bet on yourself when nobody else will. This is about Steph Curry. And this is about you. Let's go back to the beginning. Charlotte, North Carolina. A kid named Wardell Stephen Curry II, son of an NBA player. You'd think that would open doors. You'd think that would make things easier. But it didn't. Because Steph didn't look like his dad. He didn't look like the other kids on the court. He was smaller, skinnier, and in basketball, that matters. People judged him before he even touched the ball. When Steph was growing up, he'd go to his dad's games. Del Curry played in the NBA for 16 years. Steph would sit courtside and watch. He'd dream. He'd imagine himself out there one day, hearing the crowd, making the shots, living the life. But every time he stepped on a court himself, people laughed. Coaches doubted. Scouts looked past him because he didn't fit the mold. In high school, Steph wasn't getting recruited. Not by Duke, not by North Carolina, not by any of the big schools that were supposed to want him. They all said the same thing. Too small, not strong enough, not quick enough, doesn't have the body. And you know what that does to a kid? It crushes you. When you work that hard and nobody sees it. When you give everything and they still say you're not enough. Steph wanted to play for Virginia Tech, where his dad went to college. He wanted to follow in his footsteps. He was ready. But Virginia Tech didn't offer him a scholarship. They told him he could walk on. Walk on. Think about that. The son of an NBA player, one of the hardest workers in the gym, and they wouldn't even give him a spot. They didn't believe in him. And that could have been the end of the story. That's where most people would have stopped. Most people would have said, you know what? Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe they're right. But Steph didn't stop. He went to Davidson College, a small school. No national attention. No primetime games. No path to the NBA. Just a kid with a chip on his shoulder and a dream that wouldn't die. At Davidson, Steph didn't have the facilities that other players had. He didn't have the exposure. He didn't have the hype. But he had something else. He had obsession. Every single day, Steph was in the gym. Early in the morning, late at night, shooting, dribbling, working on his handles, perfecting his release, over and over and over again. People don't understand what that takes. They see the highlights. They see the threes. They see the celebrations. But they don't see the thousands of hours in an empty gym. They don't see the days when his legs were tired and his shot wasn't falling and he stayed anyway. They don't see the mental battle of believing in something when nobody else does. Steph's dad taught him something early on. He said, if you want to be great, you can't just work hard. You have to work smart. You have to be obsessed with the details. Every rep matters. Every shot matters. Every day matters. And Steph took that to heart. He didn't just shoot to shoot. He shot with purpose. He tracked his makes. He studied his misses. He built a routine that turned him into a machine. And slowly, people started to notice. In his sophomore year at Davidson, Steph led his team to the Elite Eight in March Madness, a small school that nobody expected to do anything. And Steph was putting up 30, 40 points a game, hitting shots from distances that didn't make sense, playing with a confidence that couldn't be taught. The country was watching now. The doubters were getting quieter. But even then, even after that run, NBA scouts still weren't convinced. They said he was a system player. They said he couldn't create his own shot. They said his body wouldn't hold up in the league. They said he'd get bullied. And on draft night in 2009, Steph Curry got picked 7th. 7 teams passed on him. 7 teams looked at him and said, No thanks. Imagine that. You just proved yourself on the biggest stage in college basketball. And still, they don't believe. Still, they think you're not enough. Most people would carry that anger forever. Most people would let that bitterness eat them alive. But not Steph. He used it. He turned that doubt into fuel. And he walked into the NBA with something to prove. But the story doesn't end there. Because even after making it to the NBA, Steph's journey was far from easy. In his first few years with the Golden State Warriors, he dealt with ankle injuries. Bad ones. The kind that make teams regret drafting you. The kind that end careers. Steph missed games. He had surgeries. There were stretches where he couldn't stay healthy. And people started saying it again. He's too fragile. He's not built for this. He's not going to last. The Warriors almost traded him. They almost gave up on him. There were reports that they were shopping him around the league. And Steph knew it. He knew people were losing faith. He knew his window was closing. And this is where champions are made. Not when everything is going right, but when everything is falling apart, and you have to decide if you're going to quit or fight. Steph fought. He came back stronger. He worked on his body. He changed his training. He built himself into someone who could handle the grind of an 82-game season. And then, something clicked. The injuries stopped. His game exploded. And Steph Curry became the most dangerous player in basketball. He didn't just become good. He became revolutionary. He changed the entire game. Before Steph, nobody was shooting 30-foot threes off the dribble. Nobody was taking those shots seriously. But Steph made it normal. He made it smart. He made it unstoppable. And suddenly, every team in the league was trying to copy what he was doing. In 2015, Steph won his first MVP. In 2016, he became the first unanimous MVP in NBA history. He led the Warriors to championship after championship. He broke every shooting record in the book. He became a global icon. And through it all, he stayed humble. He stayed hungry. He never forgot where he came from. He never forgot what it felt like to be doubted. But here's the thing that people don't talk about enough. Steph's success wasn't just about talent. It was about consistency. It was about showing up every single day and doing the work even when nobody was watching. It was about perfecting his craft to a level that most people will never understand. Steph didn't just want to be good. He wanted to be the best. And he was willing to pay the price that most people aren't. Think about this. Steph Curry shoots 500 shots a day in practice. Every single day. Not just during the season. All year long. 500 makes. Not attempts. Makes. Do you understand how long that takes? Do you understand the mental discipline that requires? Most people can't do something consistently for a week. Steph's been doing it for over a decade. And that's the secret. That's the difference between dreaming and doing. Steph didn't wait for motivation. He didn't wait to feel like it. He built a system. He built habits. He showed up even on the days he didn't want to. And over time, those small, boring, unsexy daily actions compounded into greatness. So what's the lesson here? What can we take from Steph Curry's story? It's simple. Your circumstances don't define you. The doubters don't define you. Your size, your background, your limitations, none of that defines you. What defines you is what you do when nobody believes in you. What defines you is how you respond when the door gets slammed in your face. What defines you is whether you quit or whether you keep shooting. Steph Curry was told no 1,000 times. And every single time he said, "Watch me." He didn't argue. He didn't complain. He just went to work. And eventually, the results spoke for themselves. Eventually, the doubters had no choice but to believe. But here's the part that matters most. Steph didn't do it for them. He did it for himself. He did it because he had a dream that wouldn't let him sleep. He did it because deep down, he knew he was capable of more. And he refused to live a life wondering what if. That's what separates the greats from everyone else. It's not talent. It's not luck. It's belief. It's the ability to see something in yourself that nobody else sees yet. It's the courage to bet on yourself when the odds are stacked against you. It's the discipline to keep going when giving up would be so much easier. You might not be trying to make it to the NBA, but you've got your own court. You've got your own dream. You've got your own doubters. You've got your own voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, that it's too late, that you should just give up. And the question is, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to let them be right? Are you going to prove them right by quitting? Or are you going to do what Steph did? Are you going to show up every single day and put in the work even when nobody's watching? Are you going to stay in the gym when everyone else goes home? Are you going to keep shooting even when you miss 100 times in a row? Because that's what it takes. That's what greatness costs. It costs your comfort. It costs your excuses. It costs your fear. But in return, you get something most people will never have. You get to live a life where you didn't settle, where you didn't back down, where you became everything you were capable of becoming. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. Not because he was born that way, but because he decided to become that way. He outworked everyone. He believed when it didn't make sense to believe. And he never, ever stopped chasing the dream. So if you're reading this and you're struggling, if you're doubting yourself, if you feel like giving up, remember this. You're closer than you think. The breakthrough is coming, but only if you stay in the game, only if you keep shooting, only if you refuse to let doubt win. Your dream is still alive, and it's waiting for you to go get it. So what are you waiting for? Get back in the gym, get back to work, and show the world what happens when someone refuses to quit. Show them what happens when belief meets discipline. Show them what happens when you decide that no matter what, you're not backing down. Be like Steph. Prove them wrong and become unstoppable. Subscribe if this fired you up.